Today we're looking at Magic the Gathering cards that destroy black, and I'm going to start off with the Light of Day. It's a white 3 generic enchantment. Black creatures cannot attack or block. It's effectively the ensnaring bridge for black creatures. I mean, it's worse. They can't even block with this thing. I have such resentment for this card, not in too big of a way, but you know, when my friends were trying to introduce me to the game, you know, they gave me the black deck. It was like a shadow deck with like Dark Ritual, a bunch of creatures, you spew them on the board, you know, you put the Unholy Strength on them, and then my opponent just slams down Unholy Day and like basically ruins the entire strategy, and I'm like, okay, how do I deal with this thing? And then they're like, well, black can't destroy enchantments. Well, then I'm just lost. Man, playing Magic back in the day was just wild. Like, too many games were just completely decided by sideboard cards, and it was just effectively all over. Over in one shot. Light of Day also very effective versus Magic the Gathering players, poker players, D&D players, and some alcoholics. When the sun rises, it's time to go home. Alright, next up, we've got Toads. Toads came early, so Toads gets. Where's Toad's suggestion here? You had Life Force, the alien baby. You. It is a Life Force. I don't know what this has to do with countering black spells, though. I guess it's to protect the baby. It's a green-green enchantment, double green, counter target black spell. Perpetual counter spells in green. Look at that, green's taking everything. They took card draw. They took, yeah, they took card draw. Now they're taking counter spells. Camera, green is just, it absorbs all. It is life itself. It gave life to white, to blue, to black, to red, and therefore it has basically every single ability. Yeah, don't touch the baby. It's egg baby. Egg alien baby. Quite disgusting. Okay, like 7 Beavers, Devout Lightcaster. This card is a beating. This is triple white, so you better love your devotion to white around here. It's a 2/2 core cleric with protection from black, and whenever Devout Lightcaster enters the battlefield, you exile target black permanent. It's gone forever. Oh, you wanted to reanimate it? Well, I'm sorry, not today, because also we saw the light with the Devout Lightcaster. I think this thing's amazing. If you're in like a core or cleric deck, I mean, this is easily main deckable. Somebody's got to be playing with some black card out there. I mean, it can be a Wooburg. It defeats Wooburg. It defeats Mono Black, Dimir, Rakdos, Wooburg. It does it all. It just, you know, don't think Mono Black. I mean, it just needs to have some sort of black in the casting cost, and Devout Lightcaster deals with it. This is a bit of a tongue twister card. I'm sorry. Okay, next up, we've got our first Super Chats. The Absolute Grace from Croker Games. Absolute Grace defeats all absolute. Absolutely. We have a white 1 generic enchantment. All creatures gain protection from black. What, including the black creatures? Yeah, including the black creatures. If your opponent has black creatures, they now also have protection from black. So what does that mean? If I attack... Okay, so basically anyone can block the black creatures. I'm just trying to think. This is like a really hard card for me to wrap my brain around. Everything has protection from black, including the black creatures. So black creatures can't block, but everyone can block the black creatures. Got it. This is just bizarre and weird. We got Nate with Misery's Shadow for the Reanimator decks. It is a black 1 generic shade. It's a 2/2 creature. If a creature an opponent controls would die, you exile it instead. Poof! Gone. Pay 1. Misery's Shadow gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yes, this will defeat the... We all know black loves their reanimation. They love their zombies coming back from the graveyard. Gravecrawler, when you go to the grave, you're going to... I want to say they're going to stay there. They don't really stay there. They actually just sort of disappear. I wonder what that... I guess they get obliterated. It turned to dust. To some degree. Next super chat coming from Alpha Nerd with the Acroma and her memorial. It's not called And Her Memorial, is it? Chroma's Blessing. Oh, a Chroma's Memorial is what you're probably trying to tell me. 7-mana legendary artifact. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black, and also protection from red. Keep that part of the color pie in check. You would think that this would be a white card of some sort, but it's an artifact. Anyone can have a Chroma's Memorial, including the Rakdos players. Including those Rakdos players. Okay, next up, we've got Kenkan with Order of the Sacred Torch. This is a white 1 generic human knight, 2/2 creature. Tap, pay 1 life, counter target black spell. This thing is insane. This card is like broken. I wouldn't say it's the strongest win condition I've ever seen, but it's literally a permanent that can perpetually counter like a fifth of the color pie. I think this is beautiful. Like, there aren't even, I don't know, are there any blue cards that even resemble this? I would love to have a blue creature card that's just like tap, pay 1 life, counter a red spell, or counter a green spell. I don't think that exists. This came from the Ice Age. This card's an absolute banger. How did we miss this when we did the Ice Age show? It's absolutely a slam dunk card. I would play this any human deck, any knight deck, especially in Commander. Commander, so many decks use black because they all want tutors. That's right. You counter that demonic tutor. You counter demonic consultation. The applications are infinite because it will counter, basically effectively counters all the infinite possibilities that they can tutor for. You missed it back then as well, huh? Okay, we got Red REM with the Northern Paladin. Northern Paladin, a white 2 generic 3/3 knight. Pay a double white, tap, destroy target black permanent. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's a little expensive, a little bit on the chunkier side. Arguably, it's better than actually the what's it called? The Order of the Sacred Torch. In some ways, like this deals with instants, like removal, sweepers, big card draw, enchantments. This one can only deal with like enchantments and creature, and I guess some planeswalkers as well. And they'll see it coming because it still has summoning sickness. Okay, next up we've got Bulky with Compost. I don't remember what that Compost is all about. Green. Okay, we have a green 1 generic enchantment. Whenever a black card is put into an opponent's graveyard, you may draw a card. I like that. You want to play your cards? That's fine. You enrich me. This is like Ristic Studies, except not for people's spells. For the person who's playing black cards on the people who are playing black in their color pie. And anywhere, yeah. Whenever, so you could like mill them as well. Could you combine this with mill? You play Compost. You mill your opponent. They put black cards into their graveyard because yeah, it's been errated. This can come if a black card goes into the opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you cash in. That's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. So you can put multiple cards in their graveyard and you actually get like really good value. Although, you know, I don't know. The mill strategy is like dubious at best, but good card draw, good value. Crowcore Games with Animar, huh? Soul of Elements, a danger. Animar is a teamer 1/1. Pro white and pro black. So basically the two colors it's not. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a counter on Animar, Soul of Elements. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Animar. So basically at some point, like, this is like affinity, right? It's affinity for +1/+1 counters. For as many +1/+1 counters you have on Animar, your stuff costs almost nothing. Okay, we got Nathan with Liliana's Defeat. Killer. She's what? She at danger? Liliana's Defeat. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is, if you defeat Liliana, something even extra happens. Pay a black, sorcery. Destroy target black creature or black planeswalker. If that permanent was a Liliana planeswalker, her controller loses 3 life. So basically, you got a lightning bolt, and you got what is it? Death Mark, I think it is. No, maybe not Death Mark, because it's like Death Mark for black, but also it's a lightning bolt if you bolt Liliana. You pick off Liliana, you get like a bounty of 3 extra damage of some sort. Okay, next up we got Crow Core Games with the Soulless Jailer. I don't know if this counts. Well, we'll find out in a minute. It's a 2-mana artifact. It's a Phyrexian Golem. It's a 0/4. Permanent cards and graveyards can enter the battlefield. Yeah, it'd absolutely count this. We all know that Black's gimmick is reanimation, bringing the dead back onto the battlefield. You know, those cards can't stay down. We got tons of... I mean, they've invented so much graveyard hate specifically for that strategy, like Grafdigger's Cage, Relic of Progenitus. It goes on for forever. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Wow, even from exile. How do you cage up exile? So what is it? What does this even hate? Oh, it can't cast non-creature spells. Oh, okay. That's a little bit easier. I think. Yeah. So there's a lot of cards that get exiled, and then you can play them next turn. So that is like a jailer for those as well. Interesting. Neat card. Should also not be able to cast non-creature spells from libraries if we were going to take it an extra degree further. Stranger Candy, Corrosive Mentor. Do it! Corrosive Mentor. Corrosive Mentor is a 3-mana 1/3 Eternal Elemental Rogue. Black creatures you control have Wither. They deal damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Is this really an anti-black card? They deal damage to creatures, so they don't deal damage. Doesn't this just buff up black in a way? Because it doesn't kill the creature, it just makes it perpetually weaker. Actually, this does not destroy black. I think this buffs up black. Where are the rules? Basically, the black hate cards. Anything you'd sideboard for black or like is extra good versus black cards. Or mono black strat. Or like, I don't want to say mono black strategies, but any sort of strategy in the black sphere. The Rune of Protection. Black. It's basically every show we have 1 Rune of Protection, 1 Circle of Protection from Republic Services. We have a white 1 generic enchantment. Pay white. Prevent all damage to you from a black source. By the way, if no one's playing black on scale, you can cycle this thing. You can cash it in. Get some value out of it. We got some mega banned cards here with Elfenerd's Cleanse. We gotta see no. Oh no! How do I? Oh, can I find this card? What if I put in quotation? It's not gonna let me see it. Well, that's okay. Do you know what? Scryfall won't let me do it, but Uncle Google will. Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. I found it. Uncle Google saved me. There we go. Here's Cleanse in all its glory. It is a white 2 generic sorcery. Destroy all black creatures. That would normally just be a normal sweeper. But I believe it had insensitive flavor text in the Legends version. I don't even know if this is the one. And therefore it is banned everywhere. You can't even play it in Commander. Not even Oathbreaker. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Uncle Google and Aunt Wikipedia basically solves all problems. Ooh, Tormod's Crypt, actually. Tormod, not bad card at all. Tormod's Crypt. I don't like this Tormod's Crypt. Is there like a better art for it? I'm honestly a little tired of the... I do like the little bit of the new frame. They gotta redo Tormod's Crypt. I think I like the OG the most. So anyway, Tormod's Crypt, a 0-mana artifact. Tap, sacrifice Tormod's Crypt to remove all cards in target player's graveyard from the game. Just get them at the right time. We've got Kankusha with Turbo Banned, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say Turbo Banned. The card was banned, I don't know, after 20, 30 years or something like that. It's a very slow banning. Maybe 25 years? But it's super banned at this point. Okay, next. Did we get one from you? No, I didn't get one from you, Gillum. They're very bad. The Throne of Bone. Throne of Bone, 1-mana artifact. Whenever a player plays a black spell, you may pay 1. If you do, you gain 1 life. Yeah, that'll show them. I can't wait to show the Grizzlebrand Reanimator deck my Throne of Bone. They'll be shaking in their booties. Oh yeah, you've got a Grizzlebrand in your graveyard. Well, I am prepared. Watch out, because for 1 mana, I play the Throne of Bone. And if you decide to play Reanimate, not only will you lose a ton of life, but I have the option to pay 1, so I can gain 1 life. You'll never be able to stop me now. Christopher B. with Coffin Purge. Coffin Purge, black instant. Remove target card in a graveyard from the game with flashback of black. This is not bad. If I played black, I actually might play this card. This is black. This is black hating on black right now. They have some good removal. Black has good removal for the graveyard. I mean, they got Leyline of the Void, so it's not out of the question that they got Coffin Purge around here. Steve Cooper, thank you very much for the super chat. We've got Willow Priestess and a donation for chat. Willow Priestess. Green, 2 generic, 2/2 fairy druid. Tap. You may put a fairy permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Oh my goodness, that card is absolutely insane. I don't know how many broken fairies you can put on the battlefield. What can you do with this card? It's a fairy that show and tells fairies into play. Okay, anyway, we for 3 mana, target green creature gains protection from black until end of turn. But it's a show and tell. This card is nuts. The only you know what the downside is? I don't know how many fairy decks are gonna play green. It's not really like within the fairy color pie. Fairies are like blue, black, sometimes red, you know, splash for those lightning bolts and stuff. She's holding a Lynx. That doesn't even, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Works with, oh yeah, it works with changelings too. Look at that. Broken changeling card. I can only imagine what a changeling looking deck looks like. They have like so much jank like this. Cards that buff up a very specific creature type, but they're a changeling deck, right? So, you know, they could use anything. I think someone did a dono deck like that for me, and like the deck was just, it was a pile. Because like the Fairy Druid doesn't have any synergy with any of the other weird narrow cards in the deck. Oko, am I a joke to you? Possibly. Okay, next up, we've got Dinglebag's Karma. Karma's a B, isn't it? Okay, white, 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Karma deals damage to that player equal to the number of swamps they control. At the beginning of each player's upkeep. Oh, so if you control swamps, you're screwed. Oh my god, this in Urborg. You can like dome people for tons of damage with this. It will damage you too, but you have to play. I mean, you're gonna be prepared, right? You gotta be prepared for your own damage coming from your own Karma. Actually, it's a very fitting. If you like Karma and Urborg and you watch everyone take damage, and then you realize you have to take damage at your upkeep. What goes around comes around. That's what Karma is all about. So it's actually very flavorful, in my opinion. Okay, Alpha Nerd, the display of dominance. Got assert dominance in Magic the Gathering. We got a green 1 generic instant. Choose one. Destroy target blue or black non-creature permanent. It's awfully specific in my opinion. Also, no, permanents you control can't be the target of blue or black spells your opponents control this turn. It's like, what is it? Summer's Veil? Summer, what is it, the card? Summer something. Ooh, Psychico, Mother of Summer. Very nice looking card. What's that banned green card? You gain hexproof from like blue and black. Your stuff is uncounterable. I can't remember. But the point being, we can even put that on the show. This is like the clunkier version that this is like gives you a little bit of protection, but also destroys stuff. Veil of Summer. That's right. The Veil of Summer. Thank you very much, Joseph. Where's my Veil? Veil of Summer. Green instant. Draw a card. If an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn, spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and black until end of turn. This is wild. This card is banned in 3 formats: Historic, Explorer, and also Pioneer. Yep. That's for anyone, whoever isn't giving any sympathy to the blue decks these days, or the black decks. You can see that they're feeling the hurt. They're feeling the pain. The hate cards versus those colors have gone out of control around here. Just absolutely out of control. Epic Nade, a Chroma Angel of Wrath. We got a white 5 generic 6/6 flying. Oh, this is okay, so this is just like the statue, but the creature form. Okay, it's a 8 mana 6/6 flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black and from red. And if you believe in the monument, you too can be in a Chroma Angel of Wrath. Next up, we've got Alex Gibson with the Dark Betrayal. Black destroying black. Well, it's in the title. They've betrayed black. Dark Betrayer? I'm gonna just look up Betray. Dark Betrayal. It's a black instant. Yeah, just destroy target black creature. I swear there's like a few cards like this. Also a good sideboard card. When you need to kill your opponent's creatures for 1 mana, this card will do the job. Joe Gonzalez with the Mirren Crusader. Oh my goodness. This card is a beating. If your opponent is like on mono black, they're screwed. It's a white 1 generic 2/2 human knight, but it has double strike and has protection from black and from green. Protection from black is it's brutal. Like most of the best removal spells are in black. You're not going to depend on you can't depend on green removal. It's not nearly as strong. Okay, it's Sun 1/2/4C with the Royal Decree. It's a white 2 generic. Commutative Upkeep. Okay, it's an enchantment. Whenever a Swamp Mountain black permanent or red permanent becomes tapped, it's going to deal 1 damage to the controller. All right. Basically, stop where you are, criminal scum. Or you're going to take 1 damage. Vitron Espada saying hello to the fellow coffee crew. Hope you're kick-ass today, Nikachu. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Carlo with Expertate. Ooh, that is split-second graveyard hate, isn't it? It is a black instant split second, like you'll be over before you even knew what happened. You're gonna get slapped and feel the pain 10 seconds later. Choose target card in a graveyard other than the basic land card. Search its owner's graveyard, hand, library for all cards with the same name as that card, and exile them. Then that player shuffles their library. Get their win condition out of here. A little bit more weird. Now that I think about it, like, you commander players probably don't care for this card nearly as much. I mean, it's probably still playable, but like in one-on-one formats, this is where it's like more playable because you get rid of all copies, all 4 of them. Believe it or not, Magic the Gathering can be played in a format where you have up to 4 copies of the same card. Crazy, I know. Has anyone ever heard of that format or any of those formats? Commander is Commander is so overwhelmingly dominant in Magic that it's like basically the default way to play the game at this point. Okay, Alpha Nerd super chats once again with the Celestial Purge. This is actually a flexible card because it exiles red and black permanents for a white and 1 generic. Very, very good card. So you have to deal with red creatures, red enchantments, black creatures, black enchantments, planeswalkers. Celestial Purge just basically does it all. This is actually one of the more competitive cards we've seen all day. Stop making things up. Oh, you mean the 4-card format? You got a new avatar, Someone240. You're now a rabbit. You got the bunny on. Or you got your bunny on. Beanpot with Devote Decree. White 1 generic sorcery, exile target creature or planeswalker that is black or red. You also can scry 1. So it's like, oh, this is very well timed. It's like Celestial Purge. But does not hit enchantments, but it does hit the creatures and the planeswalkers. On the plus side, you do get to scry 1. So if you hate flooding out or getting mana screwed, Devout Decree is there for you. Next super chat from the Alpha Nerd, Sanctifier on Vec. Savage against black and red. Oh yeah, this card. Another card that you could probably main deck in like any human or cleric deck. Double white 2/2 Grizzly Bear, but it's got protection from black and red, so it is a stone cold roadblock. It is those pylons that say you cannot go down this road anymore. When Sanctifier on Vec enters the battlefield, exile all cards that are black and red in all graveyards. And then if a black or red permanent spell or card not on the battlefield we put in a graveyard, you exile it instead. Poof. Poof, and it's gone. Next up, let's look at... Who hasn't got a card yet? Don't think Darkest Angel got one. Krovax! The Ascendant Hero. We have a white 4 generic 4/4 human noble. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Non-white creatures get -1/-1. Also pay 2 life. Return Krovax Ascendant Hero to its owner's hand. This actually feels a little does not. It's like basically just a non-white hate card. Not very specifically destroying black. It is a good card versus, but it's also good versus blue, versus red, green, and white. A little too watered down for my taste. Vagelus Fear, Spirit of the Night. It sounds like this should be for black. This sounds like should be good for black. Black, 6 generic, 6/5. Legend. It's a legendary demon spirit. Flying, trample, and protection from black. It also has protection from the other demons. First strike when attacking. A Spirit of the Night is unaffected by summoning sickness. So it's got haste. Got first strike. Yeah, oh, they've errated it. Now has haste. It's no longer unaffected by summoning sickness. Joseph with the Lightbringer. Lightbringer. Bringing the light around here. Wonder if it is related to Glorybringer. White 2 generic Rebel. It's a 2/2 creature. Tap, sacrifice Lightbringer to remove target black creature from the game. So if you're a Rebel deck, what's cool about this card is the Rebels tutor for their own. So you tutor out their Lightbringer when you need it, and you sacrifice it and exile that black creature from the game. I don't know if it's really a danger, but like, you know what? I like the card. We're going to look at more cards that destroy all the other black cards. We got to thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, if you can trade in your cards, you're going to get a juicy 35% trade-in bonus up to January 7th. I would take advantage of that cards if I had cards to trade. If I have cards to trade, I mean, this is the time to do it. What can I say? Otherwise, you go get your singles from FusionGamingOnline.com. You can get your commander cards. You need to get cards that exile the black creature, planeswalker, enchantment, permanents. They've got you covered at FusionGamingOnline.com. And you can support the channel using coupon code Nikachu at checkout, while also supporting yourself to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. The ability to play any deck you want. Do you want? I have a challenge for someone. Just build a deck just full of the anti-black cards and send it in some commander group, and then hopefully just peeve off one person. Does anyone do that? They build a deck to just randomly destroy one deck? No? Was that going to get you kicked out of the play group? Well, it's online, so I mean, they can't do anything about it. It's not like they invited you in the first place. Anyway, you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_1JV. The sun cleanse. Where am I? Oh, I was on the wrong. I opened up a new tab for no reason. Okay, what do we got next? Commander group with acid rain and stuff like that. Someone's got to feel bad. Somebody. It's like a challenge. They got to beat you through all your garbage cards. You got to promise you're not going to try to win the game. Okay, Alpha Nerd Super Chat with Devout Decree. Did we not do that one? Devout Decree? Did we just do that a second ago? We did. You got sniped, Alpha Nerd. So we're going to donate your Super Chat to Star Major Tarot. This is my first time catching your live stream. Welcome, Star. Okay, we got a white 3 generic Bird Soldier Legend. It's just a legendary bird soldier. It's a 2/3 flyer. Okay, white 3 generic sacrifice Major Tarot. Remove all black creatures from the game. Oh my goodness, that is a hell of a card. This is a great sweeper. That would be very okay, imagine you're the black deck. Every single creature in your deck is basically black based in some way, and then your opponents reveals their commander, the Major Tarot. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you know what? I'll just concede. You know what? We'll just pack it up right now. We don't need to see the end of this. I know how this song and dance is gonna go. Tiago, it's the Slayer of the Wick count, probably. Slayer of the... Oh, it's the Wicked. The white 3 generic 3/2 human soldier. When Slayer of the Wicked enters the battlefield, you may destroy target vampire, werewolf, or zombie. I will absolutely count that. Vampire, werewolf, or zombie. Most of them are like black based. I guess werewolves are sometimes green. But we don't have many green zombies. We also don't have many blue zombies. Or if it's blue, it's black anyway. We got Christopher B is just throwing out old like staples. Rest in peace. It's actually very reasonable for everyone else to assume that nobody else, or these cards have already been said by now. White 1 generic enchantment enters the battlefield. It triggers upon entering the battlefield, people. Exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. I remember someone, I don't think I was playing in this game, but some game beside me, someone was asking, like, the opponent had rest in peace, and someone was trying to figure out if they got their death trigger. It's like, does my creature still technically go to the graveyard? I mean, the card really is not tricking us. It says if it would go to the graveyard, it doesn't, basically. It don't go nowhere. Sorry, it does go somewhere. It goes to exile. We got Blaine. Hello, all. Sword of Feast and Famine. Sword of Feast and Famine, the 3-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has pro black, pro green. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and you untap all lands you control. So you coast right through all the black creatures, also all the green creatures. Great versus Jund, really. This actually was a tournament playable card for some reason. I don't see the super significance. Like, it's a really, it was a Seaborn Muse, sort of, like a really hard Seaborn Muse to pull off. Okay, Ree with Divine Smite. We got a white 1 generic instant. Target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls phases out. If that permanent is black, exile it instead. Oh, good not. The opponent's like, all right, that's fine. But if it was black, it gets exiled. Oh, no! If it phases out, treat it and anything attached to it as though it don't exist until its controller's next turn. When darkness closes in around us, my blade will light our path. Okay, next up, we've got... Have we done Exorcist, says Kevin. I don't think so, actually. Exorcist. Is it related to the movie? Do we see this guy in the movie? Who is this guy? It's a white, like, oh, it's some sort of cleric. Okay, it's a 1/1 human cleric. White 1 generic tap to destroy target black creature. Oh yeah, you're gonna do it yourself? You're gonna do it with your bare hands? I can't imagine any sort of priest dealing with a zombie. Unless he's going to hold out the Bible and, I don't know, a cross at the same time, expecting that to work. But it looks like he did some dirty job. Look, he's got some, like, black creature guts on him or something. That puke? I don't know. Maybe it might be his puke. Might be the puke of one of the enemy zombies or something like that. Okay, we got John Merrill with a super chat here. Life Force. We did Life Force, John. So what we do here, John, we donate your super chats. I don't think you were here early enough to see Life Force. It was like our second card. We did Karma. We didn't do Cormus Bell. Okay, 4 mana. All swamps are 1/1 creatures that are still lands. Your swamps are in danger of just some sort of damn sweeper. Oh my god, so basically you play the Cormus Bell, your opponents are like, I'm in deep crap now. And then this plus Urborg, that's a pain. It helps them? Well, in some way. You don't want your lands to be able to get blown up by sweepers, right? Like, that's not good news. It's like, oh yeah, I have more 1/1s. Wrath of God. Oh no! My lands were 1/1s. And I lose all my lands. Adeline with Tamio. I'm very curious to know how this is going to be an anti-black card. Collector of Tales. Okay, so blue, green, 2 generic, 5 loyalty Tamio. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. Okay, yeah, that's right, okay. So, like, all the edicts get turned off. And also, like, you know, Thoughtseize, Hymn to Turok, Mind Twist, like effects are basically turned off. +1, choose an online card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all the cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Also, -3, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That's actually, both abilities are good cash money cards. I like it. Next super chat from Ecos. Oh, we've got Drought. Passive hate spell that sacks swamps. It's a drought. Very cracked earth. It's basically a wasteland out there. We have a white, 2 generic, and all we have is the Ancient Scripture. Okay, during your upkeep, pay double white or destroy Drought. Before a spell that requires black as part of its casting cost may be cast, or an ability that requires black as part of its activation cost may be played, the controller of that spell or ability sacrifices a swamp for each black in the spell's cost or the ability's activation cost. Oh my god! Basically, playing your cards are impossible. This doesn't even have a cumulative upkeep, so you can just pay the double white for eternity. This card is just absolutely wild. I would also hate playing against this card. So you have to, so if I want to play a double, let's say I want to play Liliana the Veil. I have to pay black, 1 generic, and sack 2 swamps? What are you, nuts? Anyway, very, very harsh card. Danger. Okay, Joshua Nathaway. Thank you very much for your super chat. We've done Repentant Vampire. Repentant Vampire. Also, strategy for the super chatters. If you're not sure the card has been chosen, just name 2 cards. It doesn't hurt. I'll go with the first one always. I'll always prioritize the first one that you wrote down. But if it's been chosen, I'll go to the second one. We have a black, 3 generic, 3/3 vampire with flying. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Repentant Vampire this turn is put into a graveyard, put a counter on Repentant Vampire. But threshold, so if you have 7 cards in your graveyard, Repentant Vampire goes white and now destroys target black creature. Switch sides. Switch teams, fights for the enemy now. And now your friends are now the enemy. What's the hell's the flavor to this? Like, did it turn back human or something? It's a vampire, for crying out loud. I don't get it. So whenever a creature, if you have enough creatures in the graveyard, you turn back into a human? I guess you drank enough blood that you became normal? POV Italy during both World Wars. Oh my goodness, you people. Yeah, betrayal. Betrayed the vampires. It's probably, I have not seen any vampire movies or TV shows. I'm sure there's some character that simulates this guy. Okay, next up, let's get, who hasn't had a card yet? I don't know. It became Blade. Oh yeah, there we go. That's right. You know what? Yeah, that's a good call. Blade. Vampire fighting against the vampires. Yo, little Ted with Ley Line of the Void. At Helm of Obedience for instant win, instant kill. Okay, we have a black 2 generic enchantment. If Ley Line of the Void is in your opening hand, begin the game with it on the battlefield. And if a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it gets exiled instead. So more, you don't get your graveyard. And also, even stuff like this, right? You can't get Threshold. Creature dealt damage, goes into a graveyard, which it won't. You won't get the counter. You gotta realize, a lot of black strategies revolve around their graveyard, and like things like Rest in Peace, Ley Line of the Void just say, no, you get nothing. Your cards are vanilla. They're all vanilla cards around here. We did Dark Betrayal. We have done that one. Do I not have any more super chats? This was the last one, right? Repentant Vampire? Yeah. Okay. Got through them all. SMD with the Nullhide Ferox. This is always a weird card to see on the show. It's this gigantic creature. It's a 4-mana 6/6 with hexproof. You can't cast non-creature spells. Okay, sure, whatever. Pay 2. It loses all abilities until end of turn. Any player may activate this ability, including yourself, including your opponents. And if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Nullhide Ferox, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. Yeah, so that's going to be a complete rude awakening. If your opponent plays, I don't know. Each player discards a card, Kolaghan's command, make you discard a card, and you pull the Nullhide Ferox in play. You just made me stronger. You just made me stronger. Ooh, Epic Nate with the Hushbringer. That's a pretty good card. Actually, hold on. Is this like an anti-black card? Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't... Okay, dying works, yeah. So it's a flying life-linking fairy for 2 mana. By the way, I've hated this art. I think this is just awful. I don't know. It's like some sort of weird, creepy girlfriend Valentine's art picture or something that they sent me over my phone or something. They photoshopped together. Anyway, I think it's really, really weird. Yeah, it could be also AI generated. Anyway, creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. Is there not an alternate art? No, we have nothing. It's just this creepy fairy. I don't see the Hush in this. They could have just had, it's like really close-up picture with like their the finger up to the lips. But instead, it's this, I don't know, it looks like it's trying to seduce me or something, you know? And it has nothing to do with ETBs or anything. Perfect for your thumbnail? Yeah, I guess so. Shh. You keep quiet, black creatures. You keep quiet. Hushbringer art lends credence to the theory of AI art in Magic cards. Yeah, it's possible. Well, they've already caught a few people already. I think they caught some AI art. Although they're trying not to. Okay, we got Boar with Nantuko Blightcutter. Nantuko Blightcutter. It is a green 2 generic 2/2 insect druid. Protection from black. Threshold. Nantuko Blightcutter gets +1/+1 and each black permanent your opponent's control. Oh, for each black permanent. Okay, so it gets buffed up for all your opponent's black stuff. Have as many zombies as you want. You only make my insect stronger. Basis fan forever. Has Angel of Jubilation done? Angel of Jubilation. Is this the new meta? Asking me if the card has been done yet? I find that you have like a meta for trying to like get the cards on the show. We have a white 1 generic 3/3 flyer. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. Players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spell or activated abilities. That is a very unique black hate card. So basically, well, you can't pay life or sacrifice creatures. Yeah, okay, so that shuts off Necropotence. Your opponent wants to play, draw 39 cards. Well, guess what? You get to draw 0. You can't pay life around here. No, the Angel of Jubilation in town. We got Jay with the Radiant Kavu. Each Kavu had, like, protection from some color, right? So this is the Naya one. Naya ability. Prevent all combat damage. Blue creatures and black creatures would deal this turn. Not particularly useful versus blue. It's actually decently useful versus black, though. It's a 3/3 creature. Ooh, we have a super chat in queue. We got John Merrill here with, how about the Witch Stalker? Oh, I totally forgot about this card. This was a great sideboard card way back in the day. It's a green, 1 generic 3/3 hexproof wolf. So, you know, don't touch this. Whenever an opponent casts a blue or black spell during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on the Witch Stalker. It's actually a little bit more effective versus blue, because as you cast spells and they counter them, it made the Witch Stalker a little bit larger every single time. How many Nathans we got out there? We got Nathan Thompson with the Bojuka Bog. It taps for black, but it also exiles all things in graveyard. It's a land, and it was a battlefield tapped. ETB, exile target player's graveyard. Elegant design for a civilized age. Thrall Wizard as Booba, apparently. Or, okay, Thrall Wizard from Gillum. I'm bringing back the old meta. Oh, yeah? What part of Booba is the... Oh, you clickbaited me. That's right. Well, you got me, I guess. We have black 2 generic 1/1 Thrall. Pay a black 1 generic. Counters target spell, black spell if caster if target spell does not pay an additional black or 3. Play this ability as an interrupt. Man, yeah, the meta, the meta worked. Well, then soon, if anyone like puts Booba in the comment, I'm just gonna be like, oh, it's a troll. I can't trust. Oh, we did rest in peace already, Nate. Okay, Dinglebag's Nature's Wrath. Oh my god, there's a lot of words on this card. Okay, we have 6 mana green enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay a green. Yeah, okay, sure. 1 green mana? That's a deal. Whenever a player puts a swamp or black permanent into play, they sacrifice a swamp or black permanent. Oh, so you got to do an exchange here. It can't be all free. Whenever a player puts an island or blue permanent into play, he or she sacrifices an island or blue permanent. It's danger! You want to make me sack my islands? I'm a blue player. I'm more offended by the second half of this card, that's for sure. Okay, we got Christopher B with the Ground Seal. That's a creative card. Ground Seal is a green 1 generic enchantment. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Also, cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities, so hopefully they will stay there. Yep, we did Liliana's Defeat. Somebody didn't get many. Does Orvar count as anti-discard? Yeah, I would definitely count that. Okay, we got a blue 3 generic 3/3 shapeshifter changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, if it targets 1 or more permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of it. But if a spell or an ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, you create a token that's a copy of target permanent. Was legendary, actually still is legendary, against Archon of Cruelty. Oh, you want to make me discard a card? Well, guess what? I've got the Orvar Old form. When I discard a card, I can just put this card directly onto the battlefield. And I'm going to copy your Archon of Cruelty, making you discard a card and sacrifice a permanent. And then maybe they'll play their own Orvar the All form. Get into an Orvar fight. The Orvar Wars. Apocalypse. Chameleon Colossus. Oh, yeah. Big Shapeshifter. Green 2 generic for a 4/4 changeling. Protection from black. And also for 4 mana, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. So this thing can get out of control. So it would easily become an 8/8 or even bigger. Okay, we got Pacers fan forever coming fast with a Sigarda, Host of Hurons. Whatever that means. White, white, green, 2 generic for a 5/5 flying hexproof angel. I got the angel sound effect here. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. My stuff is not going anywhere. Great devotion yields great reward. Well, that's funny because you're not actually heavily in any you're not heavily in any color, Sigarda. What, just 2 white? What kind of devotion is that? Pathetic. Arcanus wants Stern Judge. Stern Judge. By the way, Samurai, we did Caramel already. Stern Judge is a white 2 generic 2/2 cleric. Tap. Each player loses 1 life for each swamp he or she controls. Oh, that actually can be. Okay, I thought it was just going to be like you lose 1 life and then that's it. But for each swamp they control, that can be damage. How to punish the guilty is up to the ancestor. Deciding who merits such punishment is up to me. Dinglebag with the elephant grass. We've got a green enchantment, cumulative upkeep of 1, so it won't be around for too long. Black creatures cannot attack you, but non-black creatures cannot attack you unless their controller pays an additional 2 for each attacking creature. It doesn't even stop them from attacking. It's basically just green propaganda for just black creatures, temporarily, and not even guaranteed. Sorry. No, I misread. Black creatures can't attack, period, but the non-black creatures can attack for attacks. So basically, it's propaganda for everything else. You just gotta pay that elephant grass tax. Gotta keep feeding those elephants that grass. New York City street poet here in the morning. It doesn't kill black per se, but angry mob is pretty good against black. Okay, we have a white 2 generic, trampling math equation at the bottom here. The hell is this? 2 plus star, 2 plus star. Get your bed mass out, people, or your PEMDAS, however you want to use it. As long as it's your turn, angry mob's power and toughness are each equal to 2 plus the number of swamps your opponents control. Absolutely counts. And as long as it's not your turn, angry mob's power and toughness are each 2. You do the math. I am certainly not. Pacers fan forever with Yasharn, Implacable Earth. Yasharn. Oh, this is sort of a newish card. It is white-green 2 generic for a 4/4 elemental boar. Big Piggy! When Yasharn enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest and a basic plains. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sack non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. So you can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents. So we can still sacrifice lands around here. Vitron, huge fan of Angry Mob. I mean, a white creature with trample. What's not to love? Was that rare? It's funny. There are some cards that, like, you know, there are some people that look for, like, hey, I want a creature in this color, but I want it to do this ability. And then they find out there's, like, very few or almost none because it, like, doesn't really meet the color pie. I swear we did Dark Betrayal. Like, I've seen Dark Betrayal mentioned 20 times now. Didn't we do this one? Yeah, we did this one. Yeah, are you all happy? You happy? Dark Betrayal. It's there a second time. We did Sanctifier on Vakjak. Snake Pit from Arcanus. The snake. Snakes on a plane. This is when the plane crashes. Now it's snakes in a pit. It's a black 3 generic enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a blue or black spell, you get a snack. You get a little snack around here. If the ground is smooth, the way will be rough. In my opinion, if the ground is moving, go the other way. Yeah, we did Life Force. If you need inspiration, just steal Christopher B's cards because he's been here from the start. Wilt Leaf Liege. He knows what we've done and haven't done. We got Selesnya, 1 generic for a 4/4 Elf Knight. Except, like, I'm sure this thing the elf is riding is worth more damage than the person, like, riding it. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. They can take our cards from our hand. They can steal our creatures, but they will never Take away our freedom! I was just trying to figure out why would this buff up anything, but I guess it gave a really good speech before they went into the attack. If a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Wilt Leaf Liege, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. That is a weird horse. It is encouraging sniping. Well, maybe at the end, at the very, not encouraging of the paid sniping, but like at the very end. You guys mention all the same cards anyway in the freebie section. Near the end when we start getting a lot of doubles, so you guys got to do better research around here. New York City Street Post. Sorry, New York City Street Poet. Happy New Year, everyone donating. Excellent donation. We shall donate to be honest, I don't think we looked at White Knight. It's a simple spell, but effective. It is a white 2/2 first striker protection from black. Matt with the Fiend. Ooh, the Fiend Slayer. This is the Jedi, isn't it? The Fiend Slayer Paladin. It is a Jedi. It actually looks like, I swear, like who made this card, it was Wesley Burt. They did the art. This is basically like some sort of Jango Fett is a meets Jedi sort of card, in my opinion. Very heavily inspired there. 2/2 Human Knight, first strike, lifelink. Fiend Slayer Paladin can't be the target of black or red spells your opponents control. Oh, but not protection from black or red, just protection from the spells. The card art does go hard. I like it. I like it a lot. Even though I am a Star Wars fan. If the bouncers beat down from Re. Green 1 generic instant costs 2 less to cast if it targets a black permanent. So it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, you exile it instead. Get it gone for good. Jess with Grafdigger's Cage. Ha! 1 mana creatures cards in graveyards and libraries, they can't enter the battlefield. Silly dead things. They should stay there. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries either. We did Mirren Crusader. We've had the suggestion of Invoke Prejudice on every single show. It does not actually what's it called? Well, maybe I understand the art is anti-black. Well, that is true. That it's not the card itself is not specifically, you name a color when you cast the card, as I understand it. Joe Gonzalez, the Surge of Salvation. That's a new one. We have a white instant, you and permanents you control. Gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. That's right. I didn't actually notice that part. You know, people play this against like a lot of different decks just because they want the hexproof part. I didn't realize it also prevents black and red sources dealing damage to what is it? Prevent all damage that black and red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. So basically you can like block any black or red creatures with your stuff. Toilet Duck, did we do the Northern Paladin? No, we didn't do the How many Paladins out there? Is there one for each direction? The west, the east, the south. Okay, we have a white 2 generic 3/3. Oh no, we did do Northern Paladin. Yeah, that's the destroy target black permanent. Insane card. Great card. Oh wait, I don't think we did Auriok Champion. This card's a beating. This card was like 40 bucks at one point. It's still like $8 because it's that good. White 1/1 human cleric. Protection from black and red. But whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. An extra beating to the red decks, but equally a beating to the black decks. Yeah, sad trumpet sound. Well, only for the bad cards. Exorcist. From Benjamin. Exorcist. Oh, we did that one, yeah. The cleric. Okay, Westy, Dark... Oh my god, what is it? The 5th time we've seen Dark Betrayal? Yeah, we did Northern Paladin. Did we look at Sol Canar, the Swamp King? No, we have not. Sol Canar. It has Swamp Walk! Okay, it's a black, red, blue, 2 generic, 5/5 Swamp Walking Legendary Demon. Whenever a player plays a black spell, you gain 1 life. This is actually just a weird anti-black card, actually. It's a weird black hate card. Yeah, you just coast by the, knows the swamp really well. Extra well. That's a very funny card. Okay, we got New York City Street Poet with, I think, one I think is a bit esoteric, is the Shadowbane. Okay, Shadowbane! White, 1 generic instant. Prevent all damage to you or a creature you control from any one source. If that source is black, gain 1 life for each 1 damage prevented this way. You better believe it! Oh, we got some people are still mentioning some cards. Hold on. Joshua's like, a chroma or donate. Yeah, we gotta donate. We definitely did a chroma. What is this? Marsh Drinker Giant? Marsh Drinker Giant, 5 mana, 4/3, Giant Warrior. Comes into play, destroy target island or swamp and opponent controls. Oh no, not the swamps. We did light of day. Anyway, that's it. Alright, we're already done with the super chats. It was a very short extension. Oh my god, Alpha Nerd here. Okay, Alpha Nerd's gonna keep the show going for a little bit longer. Maybe I should give it like 5 seconds. I should have a policy, like once the Wii Sports music pops up, it's over. Deny offerings. And I eat your super chats. I eat them. Deny offerings. Deny offerings. This is not the card. Offerings? Pit of offerings? Deny something? Deny existence? Deny reality? Deny the witch? I don't know. This is not a card. There's no such thing as deny offerings. Do you have an explanation, Alpha Nerd? Do you have an explanation? Explain yourself. Hold on, I'm looking at all these other cards. It does not specifically say it does anything. Let's look at offerings. This is just a land. There's a battlefield. Exile up to 3 target cards from graveyards. Oh, that actually can be an anti-black card. So the Pit of Offerings. I don't know if this was the intended card, but anyway, enters the battlefield tapped. It's a cave. Enters the battlefield. You exile up to 3 target cards from graveyards. So it's like a super Bajuka Bog. You can tap to add a colorless or tap add 1 mana of any of the exile cards' colors. That's actually even more insane. That's pretty cool. Okay. We're done with the show now. If you wanted to super chat, the time was, well, I don't know, for the last 5 minutes. Thank you very much for being part of this show. Okay, if you want to be part of the show yourself, you got to be here at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And we do this. And by the way, also remember, we're still going to be doing the show at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time until January 5th. And we got to thank everyone who supports the show, everyone who's a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or anyone who super chats to contribute and be part of the show. And we've got to thank of course, the coffee crew in the morning. People like Paul Rogg, Xander, Toad, Some124C, Arcanus, Mr. Deadhead, Gillum, Pacers Fan Forever, Christopher B, Matt, Jess, Hunter, Steve Cooper, Achievement Slayer. Who else we got here? We got Alpha Nerd, of course, Matt, Chris Blair, Turiot, Benjamin, Kevin, Dinglebag, Lynn. Who else am I missing here? We got Nathan here. We got JD. Because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, you keep brewing up them coffees. And we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.